Welcome back to a series so spicy, even hot ones took notes. In today's video, streamer Tectone has just been banned on Twitch again. Asmongold and Denims have both responded. Hasan continues to slander absolutely everybody. Kaceytron is now blaming Asmongold for harassment. Klein has added another Hasan orbiter, Shonda Black, to the lawsuits. Unfortunately, they cannot cry about misogyny this time, but don't worry, they're calling him racist now. Alrighty, subscribe or you're locked in an elevator with Kaceytron for 24 hours straight. Alrighty, let's start with Tectone getting banned on Twitch. Now, if you remember, the last time he got banned, it was because he called Frogan galactically compatible. Well, it seems like this ban was also due to another Hasan orbiter, this time Denims.
This is not my first, this is not my second, this is not my third, this is my fourth fucking ban in the past 90 days. 7 days, boys. 7 days. Thought it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Oh, don't worry. It's only a 7-day ban and no pay for 2 weeks. Yep. There it is. That dumb bitch who's getting her ass sued, and I can't wait for her ass to get permanent. Yes, I have been mass reported by Denims community once again for calling her a whore. Wow!
Right, so just some context. Denims obviously in the past has called him a grapist, basically completely slandered him. So while some people may not like the terminology used by Tectone here, one of the insults is far worse than the other. In fact, life-ruining. So I think it would only be fair for the standards to be applied equally and the TOS actually be enforced. Wow, who would have thought? Enforce your actual rules. Now, suppose he got banned for harassment or something. In that case, both of them should get banned. Denim should probably get perma-banned for spreading false allegations. Now, apparently Tectone is saying that he didn't even call her that. I mean, he sort of like played around it.
I didn't even call her a whore this time. That's what's crazy. I got banned because she said she was upset that she was being called a whore. And then I said, if you don't want to be called that, don't have an OnlyFans. So I didn't even call her that. I got banned merely for saying, if you don't want to be called that, then don't have an OnlyFans. Is that not fucking insane?
Right, so I'm not exactly sure about the semantics there. I'm not a linguistic expert, of course, but I think the general way rules are applied on Twitch is genuinely baffling to anybody with a shred of common sense. My theory is that as long as Dan can goon to you, you're pretty much good. You get like a golden pass to do anything, anytime, anywhere. Keep in mind, Denims is still getting away with this despite putting bounties on people threatening to kill them. And apparently that's okay.
30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear.
I mean, if you just reverse the roles, imagine somebody did that to her. Somebody put a bounty on her. Everybody would be crying for her, like, oh my god, somebody is threatening a woman. But because it's somebody else, then it's just completely fine. Like, the double standards are insane on Twitch. Then he talks about how they got zero punishment.
There's this girl called Denims who keeps on calling me a sexual predator, a abuser, a guy who beats women, and she's called me a rapist. Her buddy Hasan has called me a familial obligated rapist. Do you think they got banned? No, soy dora. They got nothing. They got zero punishment. Fucking zero. I explained to them why they're being called that. I get banned for 7 days again. I've even tried to clean up my language when talking about this. But apparently, I can't talk about Frogan. I can't talk about Hasan. I can't talk about Denims. I can't talk about any of them. Yet they can run my name through the mud 24/7.
Hello, Dan Clancy here, Twitch CEO. I think there's only one solution here, actually. Tectone, it's time for you to take off your clothes and start an OnlyFans. I, Dan Clancy, will be judging very thoroughly, and if you pass the test, you might get unbanned immediately, actually. But you must let me see the goods. Ring, ring, ring. Wait a minute, I've just gotten a call from the government. They're saying my room is a biohazard? Well, it seems my gooning pillow is corroding into the the earth. It is poisoning the water supply. Well, I suppose I gotta deal with this. I'll catch you later, guys. Dan Clancy out. What the heck, Dan? Get out of my video, dude. Anyways, if you watched the previous episodes, you would know that Hasan in particular here implied that Tectone inherited the SA genes from his dad. Absolutely insane accusation that honestly makes no sense. Well, apparently, he's doubled down on it again. In fact, right before this ban, he said this.
Why is Tectone's egg ass trying to say you ruined your life, Lamau? Why are you openly admitting that you watch the rapist child of a rapist? Like, what is wrong with you? Generational sexual assault. Who gives a shit, dude?
Well, I mean, that was pretty clear by Hasan. It's not even implied anymore. He straight up just said it. He said the R-word child of an R-word. Very interesting, Hasan. I mean, you're just lucky that Tectone is not Ethan, because your ass would be sued immediately. Now, I don't know why Tectone won't do it. Maybe it's too much of a headache. Maybe it's more fun to see him embarrass himself. But it's just crazy you can just say the shit and get away with it. And Hasan constantly complains about people misrepresenting him, taking him out of context, and then he just casually calls people grapists. That's not normal, man. That can ruin people's lives. Now, if you remember, last time we talked about Tectone's ban, he apparently compiled a certain folder and sent it over to Twitch staff. And we had a bunch of theories about what it was about. Well, he finally revealed what it was.
Inside of this folder that I made with the help of my mods, I had a plethora of videos and screenshots that went on for quite a bit, ranging from everybody from Mike from PA, Hasan, Denims, Frogan, Kaceytron, Minx, just to name a few, with wonderful little clips like this.
The reason Tectone can't sue me is because he did that shit.
Clips where Denims is saying that I'm a rapist and I can't sue her because, well, she believes that I did it. Clips where Hasan is calling Asmongold a pedophile. Clips where Denims is calling me a rapist, a pedophile, an abuser. Going in on Nuxtaku, going in on Mudahar, going in on all these streamers, all of these streamers going in on all of these, content creators with complete blasphemous language.
Alrighty, so my guess was pretty close. I said last time that he might have compiled every transgression that Hasan has done, his violation of TOS, his slander, and just sent it over to Twitch. Turns out it wasn't just Hasan, but a bunch of other people as well. Now, personally, I do think this was kind of pointless. Obviously, they already knew what was going on. They know that these people routinely violate TOS. They literally just don't care. I think it's time to face the truth. These people are just extremists. They agree with Hasan. They probably agree with the terrorist support as well. That is just what extreme politics does to your brain. It completely rots it, rendering you unable to think with common sense. Am I surprised they completely ignored this entire folder of Hasan and his orbiters committing, TOS violations? Nope, not in the slightest. What you actually should have done, as I did mention last video as well, you should have sent Dan 1 terabyte of gooting material. Give him something he can actually work with. Listen, that is the strategy, I'm telling ya. Then he leaks his Discord messages with the Twitch staff.
These are messages with official Twitch staff. I completely get it. Trust me, you should report her and send me whatever clips. And by the way, this is me working with the one good mod that Twitch actually has. Or send me whatever clips or tweets you feel are violative, and I can report them myself and bring them up to the powers that be. It's the same situation as the Frogan thing, and you know it is. You know how many people were talking about Mink 72 hours ago? 0. Yes, 100%. But bro, her tweet had 1 million views out of nowhere. It's hard for me to ignore something that big after she went after me and my family. Same thing with Denims. And you've reported them both on Twitch with the links and stuff, because it is according to our guidelines that we will perform action on or off platform behavior, which means Twitch would, in fact, if they thought it was bad, whether the action was committed off the platform or on the platform, you would get banned if Twitch thought it was bad. We will action on or off platform behavior if it's egregious enough. Labeling people rapists, pedophiles, abusers, going after Asmongold's dead fucking mother.
I mean, this is the equivalent of talking to like bots or customer service. Obviously, this person is just going to tell you exactly what you want to hear, but behind the scenes, they don't have power to do shit, even if this was one of the good Twitch mods or whatever. That's just kind of how it is with these sort of situations. It is blatantly obvious they have an agenda and they just want to push their own narrative. And rather than let Twitch be a platform for gaming or entertaining streams, they just want to turn it into this weird political pushing agenda echo chamber with the side of OnlyFans, I guess. And that's pretty much why Twitch is completely cooked.
Appeal sent. Here's the info on Hasan and friends, or should I send it elsewhere? This is great. I can try to pass the powers that be. Nothing was done. With this, we have 100% assurance that Twitch is okay with terrorist sympathizers. They are okay with people breaking the law. They are okay with people labeling people as criminals, attempting to defame them, harass them, ruin their life with false allegations, as well as go after people's dead parents. And they are okay with all of it as long as you are pushing a leftist extremist agenda.
Yeah, your first mistake was thinking that this is actually a fair process. I mean, this is basically just confirmation of what we already knew. We knew that Twitch was okay with all of this stuff. To pretend that they somehow hadn't seen it is just completely delusional. This stuff always goes viral on Twitter, and they obviously keep a close eye on that, considering they police off-platform behavior as well. Dan Clancy's self-admitted literal favorite streamer is Hasan. He obviously keeps up with what he's saying and doing. The whole performative gesture of the 24-hour ban for Hasan on his day off, that was literally all for PR. Hasan literally has some of the most crazy violations ever, like open terrorist propaganda. It is so obvious they do not care at all. And if that wasn't bad enough, they do the most spit in the face thing ever and tell him to just ignore them. Ignore these people trying to literally ruin your life.
They sent me a DM on how to deal with this, and they told me to just ignore them. That's their solution. To have people send me career-ending false allegations, going after my friends, going after my friends' dead parents, and just ignore it. What type of disgusting fucking monsters do you have to be to expect me to be able to be defamed, slandered, have my livelihood ripped away from me, have them go after people who I care about so much, more than I care about my fucking self, including their dead parents, and say, well, just ignore them. That's not how this works. I would be able to fucking ignore them if you did anything.
Right, so let me get this straight. They want him to ignore being called a rapist. But somehow, Frogan cannot ignore being called fat, and Denims cannot ignore being called a hoe. I mean, just the level of double standards here, it's not even equivalent. Like what Tectone is saying, you know, it might be crude or rude or maybe even consider harassment, but at the end of the day, they're just sort of like descriptors there that kind of sort of fit, not gonna lie, and it is nowhere near legitimate criminal accusations. And these are being pushed by some of the biggest streamers on your website. They should be accountable for their actions. And you absolute clowns should be enforcing your flippin' TOS. That's what makes a website fair. Then he talks about how this situation has just ended up helping his career.
You are pathetic. And the only thing that you're doing is you're going to make me grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, because I'm not going to let you bully me. I'm not going to let you silence me. I'm not going to let you encourage me to just ignore it and not talk about it. How about you get your head out of your ass and you do your fucking jobs? You have a TOS. Enforce it. Thank you for giving me 1 million subs on YouTube. I'm gonna go get a golden retriever in celebration.
Yeah, I mean, they did just end up making Tectone way bigger than he was before this whole drama. And these multiple Twitch bans just ended up having the exact opposite effect. Instead of actually suppressing him, he ended up multi-streaming, getting a much bigger audience, popping off on YouTube. It's just so funny how incompetent they are at everything they do. Makes me somewhat grateful for YouTube because, you know, they do have a ton of problems, but at least they aren't as bad. So anyways, Asmongold responded talking about how damaging it can be to spread these accusations.
Ruin their life with false allegations, as
I don't
well.
think people understand how much damage a false allegation can do to a person. It will make people want to kill themselves. And in a lot of cases, sometimes they do. Because, like, if you say something like that about a person, this is career ending. People do not want to deal with you. Nobody wants to be around you. It's really, really bad.
A leftist extremist agenda.
As long as you have the right opinions, you get away with anything. That's right. And that's the way it's been at Twitch. If you have the right opinions and you have the right politics, you can break the rules and not receive any consequences. And when things get egregious enough, maybe you get suspended on your day off.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works if you have the correct politically approved opinion, which is somehow supporting terrorists now. You can pretty much do whatever you want, you can live in fantasy land, and Twitch will just protect you. And we really do forget how serious these accusations can be. It's just lucky that some of these streamers are big enough to defend themselves, clear their names, and they get a lot of support and attention from other people covering the situation. But who knows if Denims and friends do this to some people who are smaller or people who don't have these large fan bases to defend themselves. I mean, it will just straight up ruin their lives. Twitch to Hamas orbiters, I'll ban him. Twitch to Tectone, ignore them. I love how together as a community, we've effectively changed Hasan's name from Hasan to Hamas. Absolutely fitting. He will probably wear that as like a pride label. Anyways, turns out Denims responded. Here we have a tweet, do nothing and win. She responded on her alt account again. The funniest thing about this is the fact that I only asked people to report him once for the jerk-off comments about me. After Twitch didn't do shit, I literally gave up on the Twitch report system. Now that I'm doing nothing, he can't stop getting banned. Yeah, I am absolutely not believing a word she says. Not gonna lie, she is pretty much a proven compulsive liar at this point, constantly twisting the narrative, like what she did to Ethan. Also, I find it crazy how you complain about being sexualized after literally doing it to yourself all the time with OnlyFans and such. Again, never condone any sort of harassment, but I just find it hypocritical. Admits to stealing copyrighted content and now admits to effing with someone's income maliciously. Can we say class action? When Ethan called her the queen of cell phone, he wasn't lying. Apparently all the Hasan orbiters are coming in. We got Mike from PA, the Omega Simp, saying get him off the platform for good. Now, after Hasan called Tectone a grapist, people are also bringing up the Hasan clip where Hasan said it's okay for college girls to get literally violated as long as they're rich.
If you have these millionaire, billionaire, wasp fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date rape to other billionaire, millionaire failed daughters is, like, in some respects, you know, from a utilitarian perspective, of course, a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, taking these guys and putting them in a pen with one another is ultimately getting them away from the broader society.
Yeah, classic Hasan clip there. So if you're a rich girl, it's okay for you to get literally raped. And somehow, this guy's fan base is all far lefty extremist liberal women, by the way. From grapes never happened, to baby settlers, to supporting terrorists who do the most unspeakable things, to women and children, and LGBT, who he claims to love so much. But also, I love Hezbollah, guys. Just what a piece of shit, man. Anyways, let's move on to Kaceytron. Now, last video, we talked about her playing victim after getting rightfully sued for stealing content. Well, Asmongold has responded, and turns out he's pretty mad.
You know, like, that's what really, like...
This is the same girl that said I killed my mother. The amount of sympathy that I have for this? Zero. You get what you fucking deserve. Ethan W. Huge Ethan W.
Me, like, so freaked out.
That's right.
Like, and I know people are gonna be making fun of me for this.
I'm not making fun of you for it. I'm just saying that you deserve it. You deserve it. By the way, if you didn't deserve it, you wouldn't have gotten served. And it's gonna get worse.
And I'm just so fucking tired of constantly being harassed by this shit, you know? Like,
then you should stop harassing other people.
For the past 3 or 4 months, I've really just been like, I just want to focus on myself and I want to focus on my community.
You want to focus on yourself and your community, so you actively lead harassment campaigns against multiple people to get them deplatformed, misrepresent them, and call them rapists, but you just want to focus on being positive in your community? No, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. It's so obvious.
I want to be one of those people who's just a breath of fresh air.
Fresh air. Was it 42 times? Something like that?
She smoked more than she spoke.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. Dog, what do you... Look! You think I made this?
You said it's just been such a fucking struggle, and I'm just so
It's gonna
fucking
get worse.
tired of struggling, and just the idea of
It's gonna get a
having to,
lot
like,
worse.
keep on struggling and it just be an ongoing thing for like the next several years of my life. It's just like, I don't know if
It's not the next several, it's your whole life. Your whole life on the internet's just gonna keep getting worse.
Wow, I've actually never seen Asmongold this angry. I guess the comment about his mom really pissed him off. I mean, as it should. And unfortunately for Casey, no amount of crying and groveling is going to fix this. I mean, she still refuses to apologize to Ethan. That is probably the one thing that could save you at this point. You know, actually delivering a sincere apology to Ethan, and Ethan, from the kindness in his heart, decides to drop the lawsuit. But instead of doing that, you continue to double down and just call everybody that criticizes you incels and whatnot. And it really is just getting pathetic. And that is quite a statement for someone like Casey, who was pathetic to begin with. You really need to take a look in the mirror. Probably wear sunglasses, that shit might blind you. But, you know, do some level of self-reflection. That was my point there. Like, how did I get to this point? How did I F up my life this bad, you know? Then she calls out Asmongold's community for harassing her.
you know, Asmongold's community, Tectone's community is now claiming
That's right. You shouldn't have talked shit about me. What do you think? I'm a target dummy? You think I'm supposed to just take it? And also, I barely even talk about you. The only time I think about you is whenever you're talking about me.
that Tectone is going to sue me for defamation.
Oh. Remember how I said I thought it was going to get worse?
Wait, hang on a minute. What's going on here? You got Kaceytron asleep in the bottom right, okay?
She's reacting, guys. Guys, she's reacting.
Thought.
How much do you want to bet that our viewers probably go down the moment that she wakes up? The amount of sympathy that I have for this? 0.
You know, Savage Asmongold is a very rare occurrence. Usually he's super sort of laid back with this sort of criticism, but this is actually a rare treat. He is absolutely not buying the bullshit. And man, I hadn't even seen that clip. Her literally being asleep when watching videos? My god, dude. Now, is Tectone going to add to the lawsuit? I don't know. He has a laundry list of people to go after, from Hasan, Denims, Kaceytron. It's kind of take your pick at this point. But regardless of what happens, we will be there, as always, watching with some extra buttery popcorn. Anyways, let's move on to Ethan adding Shonda Black to the lawsuits. This is absolutely hilarious gigabrain move by Ethan, considering their entire criticism of him was being a misogynist for suing 3 women, right? And now he's just added a guy to the lawsuit. I'm telling you, real life and slop content is better than actual TV shows right now. So Ethan posted on Instagram, "Good evening. I've been thinking deeply about everything going on, specifically about the accusation that I'm a misogynist for suing 3 women. You are all correct. It's not been fair. That's why I've decided to add Sean the Black to the lawsuits for gender equality." Sean, be sure to thank all of your Snucker friends for their constructive advice. Absolutely brilliant gambit by Ethan. Not even the Sicilian attack can match up to this strategy. Truly genius, 1 billion IQ. Karma's a bitch. He's coming for them food stamps. I hope Sean laminated that race card. Ethan is straight up pitting the Snuckers against each other. You know the best part? There's gonna be a 4th GoFundMe. And now they're all gonna be like mad at each other. No, donate to me, not her. Now people are obviously doing the most predictable thing, calling him racist. Creepy Klein adds black man to his list of victims for equality's sake while on vacation. Time to add a token cis white male for equality's sake. Mike from PA, where are you at, buddy? Absolutely legendary, dude. And if he tried to sue a white man, they would call him a typical Jew. All these people see is gender and race. Everything is attached to identify regardless of their actions. Yep, because these people are actually racist and sexist. They don't see people as anything other than their skin color. Now, Shonda Black responded, this person quoted, "Ethan decided to sue a black creator instead of being misogynistic while on vacation, overlooking the ocean on his birthday. What a legend." And Sean's like, "The frick?" Now, apparently Sean is mad at his Hasan orbiter friends for snitching on him.
I was like, why y'all dragging me into this? People be like, oh, why is he only suing women? Which I'm like, okay, fair. He's like, yeah, Sean the Black reacted to it. He didn't sue him either. Why are we dry snitching? It's like playing hide and seek, right? And your boy gets found. And all right, come out, bro. They found us. Fuck you mean they found us? We? You speaking French? You speaking French? Leave me out of this. Leave me out of this. To be fair, they probably didn't didn't think this through. They probably didn't think that far ahead. They were trying to call out Ethan's misogyny, which is a good thing. But like they, I caught a stray. And that's just how it be sometimes. So how much E hates black people, I'm surprised he knows your name. He knows my name so he can hate black people.
Dude, of course they make it about racism. What a classic. When you're unable to fight on any legitimate arguments at all. Well, actually, NPC dialogue activated. Sexist, racist, incel, misogynist, homophobic, error, system reboot needed. Also, he knows my name so he can hate black people is insane. What kind of brain damaged logic is that? Can you imagine just being in this friend group? Like the amount of extra surplus brain cells you need to have to survive going completely lobotomized. Also, it's so funny to see him turn on his friends like, why did you bring me into this? Why did you call him a misogynist? Bro is pissing his pants right now. And I just find it funny that this was all because they just couldn't shut up. They had to accuse him of even more bullshit, piss him off even more. And like, he's completely right. He did catch a stray here. But also, I feel like Ethan couldn't actually sue you unless you violated fair use and tried to steal his content as well. I haven't seen Sean's reaction or anything, but I imagine that there's clips out there, so we'll be seeing how egregious it is going forward. If it is anywhere near to what Casey, Frogan, and Denims did, then congratulations, you are completely screwed, especially if you admitted you were stealing content. Now, Ethan is doing the absolute super villain move here. I understand my announcement that I'm going to sue Sean the Black is upsetting to some. Therefore, in an act of superhuman grace, I will make you this offer. If the Snark subreddit, Taylor Lorenz, and Cat 10 Bar all apologize for calling me misogynist, I will consider dropping the lawsuit against Sean. This offer expires Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Oh my god, he's making them grovel at his feet, bro.
If you're trying to avoid committing copyright infringement, it's not great.
If you're trying to avoid copyright, okay, sue her.
After he paraded on the internet about how he was going to sue me and he wanted to sue me, guess what? Still no lawsuit.
Sue me, Ethan. Who the f cares?
Now, Taylor Renz actually ended up begging Ethan. So this person says, oh my god, Ethan is an insane abuser. Now saying he'll retract the lawsuit if they apologize to him. I'm not sure how he thinks this is going to help his reputation. Taylor says, okay, bet. I'm ever so sorry for calling you a misogynist, Ethan. Now drop this lawsuit against Sean, who absolutely does not deserve this. By the way, this is completely disingenuous by saying ever so sorry. Like, she doesn't mean this at all. Cat 10 Bars is no longer on Twitter, but she wanted to communicate the statement to everyone. Cat here, I want to be clear that my piece never refers to Ethan as a misogynist. It says the lawsuits have provoked a torrent of misogynistic abuse aimed at these women who were already frequent targets. We're the latest gift to the misogynistic cesspool of the internet and are catnip for the misogynistic ecosystem. I'll apologize for something I didn't say if it saves someone else from being financially destroyed, but I think this latest move proves the point of everything I did say. That is not an apology. You think this is gonna work? This is basically Hasan doing that same thing. You know, like, you know the shooting? You know this guy who shot people? I didn't say it was a false flag, but it would have been the perfect false flag. I'm not saying he's a misogynist, but, you know, everything pretty much lines up. You know, I'm using the word misogyny a lot, but actually never calling him that, guys. Not sincere at all. No retraction over published articles either. 0 out of 10. Neither are apologies. They can't even put their egos aside to save one of their so-called friends from financial ruin. Wild. Ethan responded, sarcastic non-apologies will not be accepted. Snark, I need a mod to sticky a post with a heartfelt apology. Do this and I will tear up the complaint. I'm 100% serious. Dude, Ethan basically has them by the strings. It is actually crazy. So Reddit responds, who the F does he think he is? The guy that's suing you. Now, the funny thing is, right before this, Taylor was continually calling out Ethan. So obviously she doesn't mean any of this. So somebody tweeted, no way, Ethan Klein has been on literal vacation on his birthday this entire time. That's wild. Hasan really did a number of this man's brain. How could he do this to Ethan? Lazy day in paradise with my wife. Thank you for the birthday wishes. What are you even talking about? Taylor responds, imagine being a multimillionaire who lives in a massive multi-million-dollar mansion. You're talking about Hasan here? Occasionally leaving your elite gated community to go on expensive luxury trips with your partner and being on Instagram at all. I genuinely cannot comprehend this level of brain rot. His life is one that almost no normal person will ever be able to afford. Why is he online at all other than to occasionally promote his show? You can say this about Hasan. It makes no sense. You would not catch me near the internet if I had a view like this. Dude, she's such a hypocrite. It's crazy. If I ever pay off my medical debt and become rich by some insane grace of God, I swear to God, the first thing I'm doing is logging the frick off. I will have an assistant post if necessary and dip in for work, but you'll not catch me slumming it in these digital streets. I will be relaxing. So you're criticizing Ethan for living this like rich, lavish lifestyle, going on vacation, you know, in his mansion and, you know, spending a lot of time online. Whereas Hasan, who does the exact same thing, you literally gush over. I mean, imagine being as broke as Taylor Lorenz and spending your time on Twitter glazing Hasan 24/7. Imagine thinking Hasan is actually unironically a good person. This person is not serious. This woman will never log off. The H3 subreddit put together this meme of Taylor Lorenz concern trolling while obsessing over Ethan. This independent journalist posted 40 tweets about Ethan on Tuesday, called him obsessed the next day. This man is never allowed to respond. Post 40 tweets about Ethan, raging misogynist who hates women, doxes and smears women, misogynistic, endangering my safety, cannot stop misogynistic, whatever. Wow, this obsessed loser responded on his birthday. Now remember how last video we were talking about how scared Hasan is of Ethan now that he's actually suing people? I mean, he refused to even react to one of his Orbiter's videos. Well, now apparently he refuses to mention Ethan's name.
Reserves, what is this? What do you think Ethan will say about this? Ethan? What do you mean? Ethan Nestor? He's a homie. He was at the Ice Out of LA protest with me the other day. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Yeah, somebody is absolutely shitting their pants right now. Bro does not want to catch a lawsuit at any cost. And you know it's bad when Hasan, the guy who literally slanders people on a daily basis without a worry in the world, is actually scared to talk about you. Now, apparently the H3 Snark moderators are in even bigger trouble than Casey, Denims, and Frogan because they actually ended up being named in 3 lawsuits instead of just 1. Ethan once again offers amnesty to past and present H3 Snark mods.
A big list where they, have pinned posts entitled Content Nuke, Where to Watch, and Discussion. So the issue here is that they are inducing copyright infringement. Now, in a lot of ways, it's actually worse to be one of the H3 Snark mods right now than the actual, named people, because the H3 Snark mods are all just named as does right now. And the reason why is because each of these Reddit moderators has actually been named in 3 lawsuits, whereas the Twitch streamers are only named in 1. So this could get really expensive for these mods.
Bro, how does it get this bad? This is a never-ending nightmare for all of Ethan's enemies right now. And this is pretty much what happens when you try to harass and ruin someone's life over something that he didn't even do. Keep in mind, this is all over the Palestine issue. There might be other stuff to it, but the main reason why Hasan and his Orbiters hate Ethan and try to send CPS to his house is because Ethan basically just doesn't support actual terrorists. He, agrees with them on everything except the terrorist issue. So it's crazy that it's come to this, and Ethan is about to bankrupt 4 different people. And I've heard from the grapevine, legend says, once every single orbiting moon of Hasan falls, Hasan himself will step into the ring to have the final battle. And if the scriptures are correct, he shall be defeated. It will be destiny. Not the streamer, just, destiny. Anyways, then Ethan goes after Hasan again. Congrats to Zoran. This is the NYC mayor candidate. He seems like a good dude, but that being said, he should be really careful who he associates with. Hasan does unironically support jihadist groups, so the level to which he is kidding is unclear. He's the guy who said America deserved 9/11, and then we got that tweet, it's white boy jihad summer. So Hasan responded calling him mentally ill.
It's crazy. To make matters worse, he's so fucking sad. He's such a sad, pathetic fucking loser. He's doing this on his 40th birthday, apparently, as I've been told from chat.
I love how he has to say, as I've been told from chat. This is so funny because it's clear that he watched everyone making fun of him for literally randomly believing a chatter making up shit about Asmongold, saying that he was okay with nuking Iran or whatever. And now he actually has to check himself, saying, I don't know if it's true, my chat told me. Bro, it's one Google search. Literally just Google his birthday, bro. He can't even do the bare minimum research. It's crazy.
Mentally unwell, charlatan, pathetic, stupid, hateful. This is the reason why he is alone in this world. And the only people he can have around him that are not his immediate family members
are people he pays to be around him, people he pays to baby him every day, to say, no, you're a big boy.
Ironic Hasan is saying this, the guy who literally is in an active echo chamber surrounded by people who yes men him all day. We literally came up with a separate term for it, the orbiting moons. But yeah, he's pretty much just really stressed and coping right now that all his friends are getting sued and he's probably next. So we'll be covering the entire meltdown next video. There's tons to talk about. But for now, click this video to have the greatest day ever. That's right, a rare outro that's not a threat to your very existence. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.